Hi everybody, my name is Vanessa and I am the President and Principal of Creative Performance, also known as CPI. Really quick background on me. I am a former agency principal. I started an agency in 2005, grew at 80% a year, and actually sold that agency in 2010. So in 2010, when that was complete, I actually started a marketing operations consultancy, Creative Performance, and we have over the last decade helped we've done over 100 integrated software deployments and probably over 50 agency turnarounds. And in that time period, we've been really focused on helping agency principals and leadership get the data and insights that they need to answer the really tough questions. So what do I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk to you about preparing your agency for the economic downturn. I know it's kind of scary. What I'm going to start with is what agencies have been focused on, right? The things that we're seeing with all the agencies they're working with. And then we're going to talk about what we want them to be focusing on. So what have they been focusing on? They've been focusing on high performance teams, building high performance teams. They've been focusing on creating balanced client relationships, which is a big difference from 10 years ago when it was pretty acceptable to have a very client-focused, maybe even abusive relationship. That's really changing. They are focusing on building project management disciplines to increase throughput and project profitability and get insights. They are really focusing on getting making data-driven decisions. So not just for their clients, but actually for themselves, and really starting to see that. They want to establish and protect their culture, and they want to retain key talent, right? Two things very, very, very connected. The higher turnover I have, the more that's going to significantly affect my culture. They're trying to integrate and leverage technology. So we're seeing a lot more integrated technology deployments, and trying to get that operational efficiency. And they're usually preparing for some kind of exit, whether that's a liquidity event or transitioning ownership to a leadership team. We're seeing that as well. But we're also seeing that agencies are focusing on profit that drives sustainable growth. So I think that 10 years ago in the independent agency space, profit was a bad word. But the reality is that people are recognizing that profit fuels opportunity, and without profit, I'm not going to be able to have sustainable, stable growth. So these are the things that agencies are focused on. But what agencies are not focused on right now is the economic downturn, which is where I want them to focus. So there's a lot of data behind this, and a lot of varied and reliable sources. So I want to just share some of that evidence, some of that data with you right now, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do about it. So let's start with this. Goldman Sachs is predicting that GDP growth is going to slow to 1.8% in the third quarter of this year, and then down to 1.6% during the fourth quarter. GDP being a predictor, right? Larry Summers, an economist, is actually said that he thinks there's a 50% of chance of a recession by 2020. That's only like 5 months away, guys. Ian Shepherdson, he is a chief economist at Pantheon Macroeconomics. He wrote in a note to his clients that global growth could be zero in early 2020, right? Another predictor. Bloomberg states that 2/3 of business economists in the U.S. expect a recession to begin by the end of 2020. So we're talking about the beginning of 2020. We're talking about the end of 2020. And Duke University and the CFO Global Business Outlook polled and found that 82% of CFOs believe a recession will have started by the end of 2020, another predictor. So somewhere between the next 5 and 17 months, you have 5 varied but reliable sources saying that there could absolutely be a recession. Okay, so what does this mean for agencies? Well, for those of you who made it through the 2008-2009 recession, you know that people really had to bootstrap, and they really had to do things differently to make it through that, and many of them did not survive. Okay, so it means that CFOs are going to be tightening their purse strings. They are going to be talking to their CMOs about those big spends. Those of you who have agency of record relationships, those are big spends, and they are going to be under scrutiny by the CFO, okay? Brands are going to ask themselves, and their CFOs are going to ask them, why don't you just do this in-house? Some of the biggest consultancies have even created a division to help brands build in-house hybrid agencies. That's how much they think that this is a potential in this recession. Because if they could do it better, cheaper, why wouldn't they, right? And that means that the available work that's left for agencies will be under intense budgetary pressure, right? That means that you guys will be undercutting each other for rates again. That's already a problem that happens in the industry. So what does that mean? That means that agencies need to be more agile. They have got to be able to be more agile. So they need to be more responsive to the industry. They need to be able to do more with less. They need to be prepared for surprises. You have to be prepared to lose an account and still be stable. Okay, that means a certain number of months of cash in the bank. That means no more of these 50%, 80% client concentrations. They will not survive this downturn. So this current economic cycle is going to be coming to an end. So what should you be thinking about? You should be thinking about not going for a revenue grab, but actually doing the profit grab. Meaning, so many agencies that I work with are so focused over revenue over profit. Remember, if I'm a small boat with a small hole, I'm going to become a big boat with an even bigger hole. Okay? So you have to focus on actually plugging that hole before growing. And many people think they can outgrow the hole, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You need to do your own agency audit. Really look at yourself. Audit your clients. Are they profitable? Do they treat you well? Do you think they're going to be stable through the downturn? Okay. What are your services and solutions? Which ones work? Which ones don't? What are your most profitable ones? What are your least profitable ones? What are your most profitable departments? What are your least profitable departments? All of those things are really important. What are your engagement models? And what are the workflows associated with those engagement models? And are those working for you? You need to be looking at all those things. You then need to modernize your financial and operational model. If you don't have one, you need to create one. You need to know where you're going operationally and financially, and they have to be aligned. You need to identify your financial potential. You need to identify the opportunity costs that you're leaving on the table, and then you need to get your leadership aligned to executing against that. You need to align your technology with these new models. If you don't have an integrated agency management solution, you need to get one. Okay, that's how you're going to get the data. You need to adopt business intelligence. You need to find a way to get at those insights to better manage your business, to align your leadership team, get them in the same boat and all rowing in the same direction. And then you need to prepare your culture. So culture's a tough one. I have worked with a lot of clients who realize as they work with us, gosh, I didn't even realize that I have developed a culture of over-servicing and over-delivering, or a culture that is so client-centric. You've got to figure out the balance of that culture, because over-servicing and over-delivering and being client-centric, those are very detrimental. They're going to be very detrimental during a downturn. And so you're going to have to figure out what that healthy tension is between the work, the client, and the agency. Okay. I know this is a heavy topic. This is a very heavy topic. But you need to get ahead of this. That is what I'm telling all of my clients. Get ahead of this economic downturn. You cannot start working on your agency when the downturn comes. You're going to be too late. Okay. So somewhere between 5 and 17 months down the road, you're going to start feeling this. And operational efficiencies do not happen overnight. And it's very possible that we lose the bottom 25% of agencies. And what I don't want for you, I don't want you to be in that bottom 25. I want you to survive and thrive. You can actually thrive in this economic downturn if you know what you're doing. So thank you guys so much. I really look forward to doing some more videos, and hopefully I've given you some insight on what to focus on as you prepare your agency. Thank you so much.